Have a quick post regarding my mother's house. I was trying to find photos of the house that we actually grew up in Sydney, which was Dunsmore Street, Rooty Hill, and then we moved April 1989. Um, and because I was looking at this post and how some people used to have parties and what their decor was, and my mother always had the nicest. Which growing up, it's something that I used to enjoy. We used to sit down and always have dinner and breakfast at the dining table. We never used the formal rooms as laser round rooms that were used for formal. It was really nice. It was actually one of the most relaxing type of ways to grow up. And my dad's the same. So mum's first husband, Mark Fleming, was the same. When we had dinner at dad's, it was always you had to excuse yourself from the table. And so if you finished dinner, it was like, may I be excused? And it's so relaxing to live like that. Um, it's nice. And I remember thinking about this because there was this bowl that was on this 90s sort of website just now I was looking at, and they're like, oh, we should go back to this. I'm like, oh my God, we never used something so trashy and tacky like that. My mother had the most beautiful porcelain bowls for dips and glass bowls. I remember mum had this stunning, it was brass and uh, green glass dip set. Oh, it was stunning. My mum had the most beautiful, um, you know, to have functions at home and entertain. Oh, it was so nice and beautiful. And I actually, mum gave me a lot of her cut glass bowls. And then we used to go to my mum's sister's house, and it was like, oh God, I don't even want to put my hand in the bowl and have any chips. Like my mum's sister's house was one of her sisters, not both. It was like, oh God, going to my mother's sister and her children, our cousins, like, oh, it's so povo, it's so trashy, and their friends are so tacky and trashy. And it's like, oh look, you have to go. We won't be long. We'll just turn up, make an appearance, and go. It's like, well, how long will we be? It was like one of those things going to another family member's house. It was like, you getting ready to go. It's like, well, like never wanted to go. Couldn't stand her children, Shane or Christy, and couldn't stand their friends. They were just so trashy, their friends. It was like, oh God, we're going over to the Povo's house. And it was like, well, how long will we be there? Like type thing. Well, how long? Mum's like, well, and even before mum's leaving, she goes, I bet you they haven't even got dinner started before we get there. It's like, why are we bother going? Like, this is what it was like anyway, compared to how we had our place set up. Like, before you come to our place for a function or dinner or barbecue, all the salads were made, all the like, there was pre dips, there was nibblies at our place, there was, dinner was already started before people started turning up. It was really nice. And that's one thing I just thought, I was just thinking of just then. I was like, oh, we actually had a really nice upbringing. Like, mum used to make this beautiful, I'll flip the photos I'm showing you. Mum used to make this absolutely beautiful. I'll put all these on here. Save. There's my dog Baxter in the formal room. Um, this beautiful seafood and cheese dip. She actually got the recipe. I think we went over Margie Clay's. She was doing this dip since the 80s, since we are in Sydney, and she went over Margie Clay back when she was her first husband, Trevor. I don't know if it was mum shared it with Margie Clay or Margie Clay shared it with mum, but Margie Clay served it in Mitchumbury at her function at her house there. My mum used to also serve it as well. But mum had the most beautiful and tea set and cups and plates and things as well. Oh, like actually, you can see any of it in here. You can see some of the tea set up there. Oh my God, some of the bowls. I mean, I fortunately had to leave so much in America. The stuff we had as mum, myself getting ready for church in 2010. We're Roman Catholic, so we used to big brought up in the Roman Catholic Church. It's my mother and myself getting ready for church Christmas Eve. Oh, it was beautiful. I'm going to try and find if I can see. So I was just thinking of this, like, oh, hang on, where's one of those platters? There we go. Have a look. See in the distance there, you can see Mum's glass cabinet. You can see all the beautiful china. It was stunning. You can see up there in those glass cabinets in the kitchen. I can't see many more than that, unfortunately. Oh, one of Mum's. That's my coffee cup I use when I'm there at Mum's. Oh, it's just stunning, and it's so relaxing to live like that. I don't like the way other family members live. I can tell you now. Um, let's see. It's my mum's formal dining. No, it's not there. Oh, there's one other. Liberty cups. Oh, she reminds me of Big Nan in ways like this when she's got the beautiful dinner sets and the plate sets and stuff like that. My great grandmother was very much like that. Um, where I was hoping that it's in the formal room. It's in the formal room. That's the fresco area outside. It's even outside we used to use beautiful dinner sets. No, it's a shame. My mum's bathroom. Oh, it's Baxter, my dog, had a very luxurious bubble bath actually in that bath when my mum was at work. We're like, oh, Baxter, my dog loves baths so much. And it's like, mum's at work, go on, jump in. And I run this. So he's there in this claw bath. I have to find the original. It will make a beautiful, photography artwork. My dog's just sitting in this bath, like, oh, this is so heaven. This is my mum's claw bath in the bathroom. Always had, here we go. This is my mum's kitchen. Mum's always had a pestle and mortar. Mum always uses good olive oil. There's the salt. This is how we grew up. This is the kitchen I grew up in as well. And coffee. Now, there was always Justin's coffee because he was fussy and didn't want instant coffee growing up. And that's the truth. So I always had, even as a teenager, coffee pot coffee, like proper coffee on the stove or drip coffee because Justin was fussy. He wouldn't drink instant coffee. He has to have proper coffee. And if there was no proper coffee, he would drink tea and it has to be good tea. Yeah. Actually, there you go. I'm getting ready. There, you see, there's my coffee cup, or there, getting ready to have a bath. So there, and there you see, right there on the sitting there, always. And it's all China. It's always China. It's always expensive China. And it's funny because that's how we grew up. And then these weird guys that kept trying to affiliate themselves into my life. Like one of them was this guy, Mark Hanna. It's like, and I would never affiliate with you. I'm going to put this out on social media, so I don't care what people think about me, but it's like, you're just there for my entertainment. I have sex with you, like this guy, like, so I'm gay. But, I had to lower my standards so much. I realized being gay, it's like, I don't like the older I'm getting, it's like, I don't like lowering my standards and being with guys that aren't on the same level. They didn't have the upbringing I had. And the older I'm getting, it's like, no, I'm sorry, but I actually enjoyed my upbringing a lot. I enjoyed the strictness of it. I enjoyed always having a formal dining room, a formal lounge room, having dinner, sitting down at the dining table. That's how I grew up. I can't deal with people that grew up differently to that now. And it's weird. The older I'm getting, it's like, no, I don't want to compromise. Sorry, I enjoyed actually having the table set, which we did, sitting down at the table and eating dinner at the dining table. And other people don't do things like that because they didn't grow up. They ate dinner in the lounge room or stuff like this. It's like, yeah, we didn't. Like my mother wouldn't allow it. And I think it's good manners. And I don't know, like it's nitpicking, I guess, but I've become so fussy. Or maybe I've always been that fussy. And I've just started to put boundaries up for the first time in my life going, no, I haven't enjoyed, being with plebs. I haven't enjoyed it. And that's one thing that people don't realize too. And it's always plebetarians make this comment. They think it's about money. It's like money doesn't buy class because you can be broke, not poor, and still have class when you're broke. There's a difference. There's a massive difference. I mean, because some plebetarians end up getting a lot of money, but they're not classy people. They're just trash. So it's not money that has class. It's hard to explain. It's like when it's something so simple as my mother used to be like, so growing up we had, okay, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. who's setting the table tonight? And this table, it wasn't just throw the cutlery down the center. It was, the table was set properly. Well, like you got to have, what's mum cooking? Like you would actually set the table. Oh, if she cooks soup, you put a soup spoon down. It was this, and it sounds, for some people, you think, oh, that's, not here or there. It's like, actually, it teaches respect. And I look back now, go, like, okay, well, what am I cooking for dinner? If we've got steak, have you put a steak knife down? So, like, it was like that. It was like, oh, what's mum cooking? I've got steak, we'll put a steak knife down and so forth. Or you wouldn't need a steak knife if you use it, like if you have another meal. So you actually just having respect that it's sort of engaging. You're not just throwing some cutlery down the center of the table. It's, the fork on the left side, the knife on the right side, the spoon, if you're having a soup beforehand, the spoon either after, so on the outside of the knife, or in the center, in front. Because yeah, mum did used to do nice dinners where we'd have soup. She would make soup, and then we'd have a main, things like this. When she tried, you know, and it's funny, And then I was only thinking this because it's like, wow, when we had people over at our place, it was entertaining. It was entertaining with beautiful platters. It was entertaining with beautiful dip platters. I mean, there was even this what mum did with this bread. There was this okay, there was a porcelain which is almost like this sort of, it would look like art now. It was 90, it's kitsch, but it was still sort of cute. Like this porcelain dish that was in the shape and painted like a loaf of bread with cheese sitting on top of it. That was the handle. And you would actually put in that like a cheesy bread dish, funny enough. And that would sit on the table as well. Although the biggest thing I used to love was this beautiful green glass set for, chips and dips and so forth and hors d'oeuvres. And it was nice. Like you come over to mum's place and you'd be having, there'll be proper dip. There'll be cheese. There will be, olives, and there'll be tapenades. And it wasn't just throw some chips in a bowl and come over. No, it was really nice like that. And so just looking at some other sort of 90s posts, I was thinking about that now going, oh God, some people are really dragged up. Like as kids, we used to always go, oh God, our cousins are dragged up. They're not raised, they're dragged up. Shane and Christy are sorry, I shouldn't mention that. It's mum, sister's children. They're like, oh God, they're dragged up, and look at that. And you'll be having to, it was this sort of grind. You'd have to talk to your auntie's friends, and it's like, oh, that they're just uneducated weirdos. Like, did they go to high school? Like those types of people, it's like, oh God. Oh, and you got to sit next to them and they'll be drunk. And like, how long are we going to stay for? And and I don't think my mum enjoyed going, funny enough, because she used to always get the shits when she had to go. And it felt like my mum was always making the effort to keep her parents happy. It was just like, oh, we have to, not we want to. It didn't seem that my mum ever enjoyed it, hanging out with her sister. And I'm not talking about her younger sister, because I know my mum didn't like hanging out with her younger sister. I'm talking about her other sister as well. It always felt like, because before we'd leave, it was the same thing. It was, oh, I bet you when we get there, they haven't even got dinner on type attitude. Oh, what are we going to do? Eat at 10 o'clock at night type thing, eat at midnight and things like this. We'll be like, oh, I don't know why we're bothering. Should be drunk before we get there. That's what mum used to be like, talking about her sister. Well, she's going to be drunk before we get there. And she's going to have all those friends like friggin' Julie. And that's like, oh, and even my nan couldn't stand Julie. And it's like, and that's what it was like. It's like, why are we doing this? Can we just stay here? Like, it was that thing. It's like, oh, you've got to do it. Otherwise there's going to be arguments in the family. Oh, if we don't show up, what's going to happen? And it was like that. And I'm not saying anything, like I'm not saying this to be knocking or derogatory towards mum's sister, because I really did like my mum's sister growing up. But you could see, it's funny because there was something that my grandparents told me in the year 2000. And then it sort of made all sense. It's like, oh, that's why sis is so different to mum. I just mentioned it. Okay, that's what we used to call her sis. But it's funny. and it's something that my grandfather said in the year 2000, and it's something, my nan was actually giving her commentary in the background as well, and I'm there going, oh, that's why they're so different, you know. So yeah, with certain people, and that's why as well. My pop said he never liked Jeff Burgess and those types of people. Not like Pop said, like he said, look, he married my nan Lola, and was better for that. My pop had nothing to do with his family, which is the Purdy side of the family. Married his wife Lola and raised a family, and he wanted his daughters to be like his wife and his wife's mother. He could not, he didn't want his daughters to be like his mother or his sister. He wanted his daughters to be like his wife, Lola, and his mother-in-law, Mary. They were beautiful women and ladies compared to his own mother. So his own mother, Lillian Steele, and his sister, which was, hang on, it will come to me. Oh God, what was her name? I can't think, but yeah, I know she married an Evans, his sister, and I think her daughter was Lynette. So it was Purdy. It will come to me. It was Val Purdy, Pop's sister Val. So Pop's mother's name was Lillian, and Lillian Steele, who married Keith Purdy. So it was a Purdy, and Pop's sister Val Purdy married an Evans and was Val Evans. And that's what Pop used to say. He never wanted his daughters to ever be like Val or Lillian. And even my nan was like that. She's like, she said no. And Pop loved his mother-in-law and his wife a lot, my nana. And he always wanted his daughters to actually be like, where's the trophy cabinet? Here we go. You had it somewhere. It's myself and Amanda on our horses. These are all our trophies growing up riding horses. Anyway, they're all gone now. I think Mum gave me a box of mine. I think I left mine in America. Yeah. So yeah. Always, and Nan went to ladies' college. Although Pop used to say, this is how he used to say it when he used to get the shits. He goes, "Your Nana went to ladies' college." And I was like, "Did you, Nan?" She goes, "Well, it was finishing school. We all had to go." Like where they taught you to carry a book on your head. And she said, "No, it was more than that. They taught us how to write shorthand, and etiquette, and how to do secretarial work, how to sit properly, how to cross your legs properly, how to behave in public." She goes, "It's, something that all women should be going to." So my nan did go to a school. So my nan Lola May went to a school on how to behave correctly in public. How to walk, how to talk, how to sit, how to do shorthand. Yeah, she said, "Yeah, I did." And my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy. He always used to say that. He used to say, "Your nana went to ladies' college," like this, and Nan used to go, "Yeah." I'm like, "Did you, Nan?" She goes, "Yes, yeah." But it was like finishing school. We all did finishing school, and my Nan really wanted it. Well, Pop, my grandfather, really wanted his daughters to be like that. None of them did. They had high hopes. In the year 2000, my Pop told me how disappointed he was in my mother. He had high hopes for my mother that everything was turning out right for her to be like your nan. She was, growing up, she took the right classes at school, and then after school, she become a legal secretary, and was working for Ian Scholback, and she married your father, and everything was fine until, my dad divorced my mum, and the Rackleys turned up, basically. That's what he said. He did. He said your mum went like Nan said, yes, your mother used to have ballroom dancing lessons and tennis lessons. I was trying to make a lady out of her. And then Pop was very disappointed. Pop told me this is the year 2000, and he's telling me how disappointed he was. He goes, "I was hoping." And he goes, "I had high hopes. It was your mother." He said, "But none of my daughters turned out to be ladies." Anyway. See that table just there, that coffee table in the centre? That's my coffee table I gave Mum. I used to have that in St Leonard's. I can try and zoom into these cabinets that are just there next to the tea set at Mum's. Might be able to. Oh, God, I find it so relaxing. Um, that's Mum's tea set. I have better tea sets than my mum. That's the Last Supper that used to be at Nan and Pop's. Um, yeah, Roman Catholics. There's Baxter in the formal room. See, if I zoom in here, might be able to see some of the platters that used to be used. I mean, I got given most of them. Mum not giving me most of these platters, but no, we didn't live any trashy, tacky life. That's for sure. Thank God. That was mine too. That stone sideboard, that was mine in St Leonard's as well. I gave it to Mum. Yeah, we like that. I got sick of that design, so I was like, "Oh, you can have that, Mum. I'm sick of that design." But my design, my taste is more Art Deco Machine Age. Art Deco Machine Age and Art Nouveau. Trying to zoom in there to that glass cabinet there on the side. No. Anyway. Yeah, Mum's place. It is a shame because when you sort of look at even Dad. So Dad, Mark, Ian Fleming, and he was like this with Annette. So we used to have beautiful dinners at his place. So they moved to Blaxland, this beautiful house that Dad restored in Blaxland. Then Dad moved to Empire Bay. And it was always, it was proper manners. We were raised to be proper manners, like to have manners. And actually, one thing Mum used to say growing up, like she used to always get complimented on her children's manners. Mind you, I've grown up to be an arrogant arsehole. But, as a child, I always had immaculate manners. I used to make my nana proud. And my pop Reg proud and my mum proud, but hey, life experiences throws you a few curveballs and you end up turning into an arrogant prick. So yeah, that's life. Anyway, but we always had that sort of nice. And Dad, Mark Fleming, was always like, before you get up from the table, excuse yourself. He was like, may I be excused from the table? Growing up, but just because you're related doesn't mean, I would say, just because you're in the same family, just because you're related, doesn't mean you have the same upbringing. Doesn't mean you have the same traditions. Doesn't mean you have the same culture. Because you don't. We have completely different traditions and culture to my cousins, to my mum's sister and my mum's sister's children. We're completely different. We're a completely different family. Just because we're under the same grandparents doesn't mean we have the same traditions, beliefs, and culture. We don't at all. Oh, Baxter. Oh, God, he loved. So the formal living room's actually quite large. As you can see, it's split up in three sections. You've got, there's the foyer back here past that, if you can see right up there past that fence, that black fence. You can see there's the foyer. You've got this section here, the middle section. There's another section down here where you see the other chairs. There's quite a large formal living room. Baxter loved it. And there's the other section down below. He loved it. She said he loved it. He thought it was amazing. This dog loves inside spaces, and he was just exploring. He's like, oh wow, there's another room. Oh, another room. And he just was so happy. He's not an outside doggy. He really loves his inside space where he can just laze around and then go to another room and explore and laze around. He was loving it. Try for cabinet again. Yeah. In Paul John. Paul coffee. That's mum's. Oh, there we go. There's some of the mum's good china set up there. You can't really see what I'm showing, so There's a foyer. All mum's hats. Mum's always worn all the hats. I love this wallpaper. Oh, when I saw mum redo the foyer in that wallpaper, I was like, oh, that's wallpaper I would choose right there, like for a moody sort of entrance. I love it. And mum's umbrellas and canes. Um, but yes. Anyway, no, I was just coming to think of it just then. I was like, oh God, we had nice. We had a lot of nice things growing up, which again, don't know why my mother's behaving the way she did in the last 9 years. It's like, yeah, but you're denying. Like, I put it down to the fact that if you say, uh, Mum will argue black was blue. Like, it doesn't matter if I say the truth about something and to show, well, there's a photo, there's the truth, Carol. She would argue black was blue, basically. If it comes from me, she's going to say the opposite. And, well, I hope she wakes up to herself one of these days. I really do. It's Mum's bathroom. My mother's bathroom. Well, I hope she wakes up to herself before it completely destroys her son's life. The last 9 years. It's about time. Um, she wakes up to herself, and there's people that she should be standing up for her son, not standing up for other people, basically. You know, so I can't believe she did. I love these are beautiful inside. These bowls, and she spray painted them. See how these beautiful ones here? A lot of them are porcelain. She didn't like them, so and she wanted them for outside anyway. They were inside plant. So I'm like, she spray painted them. Anyway, just things like that. So one again. No. I've got actually. Mum gave me Big Nan's beautiful pink or pinkish maroon glass junket and pudding bowls. So we always had them growing up as well. Mum had all the nice things growing up. Well, we used to use them growing up. So Mum's old dog, poor thing, passed on. All the beautiful glass crystal wearing things. I love those glass statues, bird statues in Mum's. Oh, that's the painting I gave. That's from Lautrec, Moulin Rouge painting. I gave that to Mum years ago. Oh, that's the foyer before she wallpapered it. There we go. I knew I had a photo of the foyer before the wallpaper. That's the colour of the foyer before she did the new wallpaper. I love the new wallpaper. Where is it? Let me go back to it. There he is there. There. So that photo previous, you can see. And she wallpaper. I love that colour so much more than the other colour in the foyer. Yep. Anyway, not finding what I'm looking for, but I'm sure I will. Alright, that's all. Don't even have it with the dinner set up. Oh, it's one of the China cups. I love that pattern. Anyway. Big kitchen to cook in. Great kitchen. It's a shame. I always said that Mum, she should have put in a larger stove for a kitchen like that. You had the space. The stove should have been bigger, like a bigger oven. But yes, anyway. Yeah, never had. So there was this weird crap that went on last 9 years. Oh, we had a psychotic breakdown. No, I didn't. So some people had information that it didn't relate to me and it didn't relate to my upbringing and harassed me over it. And then this is where I'm not talking to my mother as well. It's like, yeah, you've actually been the one that's exaggerated these lies about me. So, it went from one thing to the other. It's like, I'm not going to put up with this. And actually, hang on, let me I'll grab the photos of my place in Surrey Hills so you can see so that's how I've lived there. Have a look at Mum's. Dad's place was always full of antiques as well. Let me find a photo of that. Actually, I just want to pinpoint out here. This is my bedroom at St. Leonard's when I lived in St. Leonard's in 2004 and 2005. I moved out in 2006. So my place, and all my places were immaculate. As you can see here, that is the corner. So behind this cigar chair, this is a French cigar chair, wingback French cigar chair. And the timber ornament there of the donkey. So there, behind that, you can just see the edge of, and it's it's 1880s Louis XIV style marble top commode. Now, the cigar chairs and the marble top commode was purchased from Rafa Keller in 2005. Rafa Keller in 2005 in Leichhardt. So that buffet there, that glass of water in cabinet there, you see with all my ornaments in it. This is my place in Surrey Hills in 2006. That cabinet right there with those ornaments in it. Now, that was purchased at Lawson's in Glebe down near the roundabout in 2006. So here's where I'm not putting up with anymore. There is a clearer picture. So that's my ex-partner, John Cabino. It's my ex-brother-in-law, Amory Thompson. The cabinet behind him, this is my place. Oh, you can see there's my dinner set. See my silverware and my Naritaki dinner set. That's in 2006. You can see all the ornaments. That's where these lies in 2017 didn't match the fact. So I thought I was buying all this stuff. Housing Commission, all these organizations will make up stories about me, but it's like, you're talking about items that I've had even back in 2006. You're making up stories about me that isn't true. And they did. Government departments, groups, and organizations made up stories about me that wasn't true. When I moved into Woolloomooloo, it's like, that's not true. And there's my expensive solid mahogany glass cabinet, Edwardian cabinet from 1910, sitting right there in Surrey Hills. When I lived in Surrey Hills, I purchased that cabinet back in 2006 from Lawson's auction house in Glebe. And there it is there. There was a lot of lies said about me in the last 9 years, and I can't do anything. You see that 2 brass things over John's head there? These are brass ornament vases that my nan gave me. And that there, so that green plate there, if you can see it in that center, that was my big nan's plate set. Mary, my nan's mother. Anyway. So I've can't do anything until this is my place here. This is my place again here in Surrey Hills. That's where I lived in Surrey Hills. It's all my stuff from Surrey Hills. The video in Surrey Hills. There's my wine collection from Surrey Hills. This is all taken in 2006, 2007. So here, this is where I say, and I'm even saying here, you can see there's all my glass set, my plate set, my silverware, my crystalware, my wine collection, my expensive items and vases and so forth. And all these photos, they're from 2006 and 2007. So as you can see, when I'm being lied about in the last, which I was in the last 9 years since 2015, those lies aren't matching the facts because ornaments and items that were getting brought up since 2015, they're right here. They're right here in photos and videos of my place in Surrey Hills. Even my dinner set, my silverware, you can see it all here. This is when we use my place as a set for the movie. There's me at the end, my glasses and so forth. You can see my silverware, my Naritaki, my other beautiful coffee and tea sets and, dinner sets and so forth. So it's all there. Oh, there's Dad. There's Amanda. This is when we had, look, I had a 12-seater dining table. Um, God, this is in 2010. This is my place having Easter at my place there. So you can see my dinner set. You can see how everything was set up there in my place, my dining room in Surrey Hills. And what I had, which was a lot. And I worked hard for it, so why not? There's me. That's in 2006. And there we go. Beautiful silverware and Naritaki dinner set. December 2008, I'm having a party at my place. As you can see. Yeah, that's the cigar room. So I turned one of the living rooms into a cigar room. And there we go. My beautiful ornate gold mirror behind there as well. There we go. Oh, there's my Agili you can see up there. It's my beautiful, this is taken around 2006. That's my French wingback cigar chair. All this is left in America now, unfortunately. Got damaged on the way over. The lies about me was so bad that, yeah, I just left my furniture behind. This behind there, you see, the cabinet, that is an 1880s marble top commode, Louis XIV style. So those two items there, the French wingback chair and the marble top commode, were purchased from Rafa Keller Auction House back in 2005, and that's in Leichhardt. Again, my garden. Yeah, look, I'm going to pause and see if I've got some more photos. Hang on. Okay. That's one of the king-size beds I had. I sold that, made money from it. It's in my bedroom in Surrey Hills. The sofa there I've designed as well as changing the sofas around. The Art Deco dresser. God, I love that. That Art Deco dresser was amazing. It's John Cabino. It's myself and John Cabino. It's in 2006. It's John's daughter. It's John at my place. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of scammers out there with way they've lied about me in the last 9 years, and it's ridiculous what's going on. I'm not going to back down. I expected my mother to have my back. When she didn't, she jumped onto that as well, which is wrong. I designed that sofa and then sold it and made money. That sofa you'll see, that's in the film. This is when we first just moved in, and I just had the temporary dining table first. So we just moved in 2006. And yeah, those was my outside chairs. So I was just using them around the dining table at first. That's me. I had a little wine collection for you there. The photo of me, that's me back in 2002. Yeah. But this photo here of me, not the sort of one behind my shoulder there on the walls, back in 2002. This one's taken about 2010. This one here. Yeah, I'm not backing down. This is all a scam from an organisation that started getting involved after I was lied about in 2015, and I kept telling them to piss off. They had wrong information, and there was more and more. There we go, a party. So I was always having my Christmas parties at my place, and I just met John Cabino. I saw not John Cabino, Giovanni Consalvo, and he said, could he invite friends? I was like, oh, okay. So his mother and his friends came over to my place in December 2008, but I didn't know him. And I let people into my house. Anyway, who cares? So this is all my beautiful furniture and so forth in December 2008. I mean, I had only just separated with John Cabino at the time. Anyway. So yeah, a lot of proof to do with my assets, belongings, and so forth. which, like I've said, it doesn't. The lies about me doesn't match the facts. So lies of the last 9 years don't match the facts itself. Yeah. And just to finish off the end of this video, this is the first apartment that I rented. Macquarie Gardens. So I was renting here in 2006, 1996. This flu is killing me. 1996 and 1997. I was living here. And it's one of the parties I had here. This drop-in person came and she's wearing my fur coat. It's my apartment. Much of photos of the inside, but look, yeah, it was stunning. But look, it's ridiculous. So I've put up with people. It's funny. If I go back to 2017, I put up with people that actually perfectly described my mother's sister's children upbringing. So they were from Housing Commission in Doonside. And I had some idiots, some Aboriginals or some Indigenous Abos, whatever, and some deadbeat Irish that I don't even know why my mother would affiliate with those people. These were people that obviously knew her sister and were from Housing Commission. And it's like you can so tell. And they actually described Shane Child's life and upbringing to me, thinking that it related to me. And I'm like, yeah, this is weird because you've just described my cousin, my mother's sister's son. So I've been harassed by some real fucking deadbeat losers and police. And I reckon here's the other thing as well. You've got police officers from, okay, for an example, like the deadbeat fuckwit friends of my mother's sister, which was, hang on, I brought this up years ago. I was like, oh, you sure it's not that fucking loser? Was it Rebecca O'Brien or whatever her name was, or Jessica O'Brien? Those fucking like Karen and Paul O'Brien's children that are freaking abo cops, probably working in Sydney, because they knew your sister and your sister's children. Can't really well say to my mum, you sure it's not them? Or wait, you've got that other deadbeat that didn't know us, that Brie Pascoe, like another country fucking copper projecting that shit. It's like, it's what's wrong with the police force. Police breaking the law and getting over it. Getting away with it. Oh my God, you can hear how clogged up I am with this flu trying to talk. And I just had years of this shit. So I've had people project my mum's. It's like, oh, Justin didn't grow up. Like I was saying how I grew up, and then people were knocking it, going, oh no, he didn't grow up like this. It's like, no, I didn't grow up like that. My cousins did. And then I had people talk about my mother's ex-second husband's family. It's like, yeah, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up very differently. So don't project my mum's sister's children into my life, thanks. Well, there's a lot of bullshit. It's gone on for years, gone on for 2 countries. And people expect me to back down. It's like, I'm not backing down. You lied about my life and involved yourself into my life. I'm not backing down. There's no way. Like I literally had some loser Hauser come up me. I'm in Woolloomooloo, and they're like, oh, they're like some bullshit, as in to pretend that they knew me. And they're like, oh, I know you, but I imagine that, you were somebody that collected reptiles and snakes and was involved in wildlife. This isn't you. Like, this is what this person was telling me. Oh, you're involved in wildlife and nature and animals and stuff. And you walked around with a snake on one shoulder, a lizard on the other shoulder. And you used to always go hunting with your uncle and was always in the country and loved camping. And, because your dad was in the country. It's like, Shane Child's father's from Bathurst or Rockley. That all sounds like Shane Child so far. And then they mentioned a blonde. I'm like, oh yeah, because I was never blonde growing up. I was only ever blonde baby, but you lose your baby hair. And pig hunting, yeah, I don't go hunting. I've never been hunting my entire life. This person was really describing Shane Child's exactly. And there was a lot of abos that used to hang around them. Like anything that was house, I used to hang around my mother's sister, and her children. And I made this comment back in 2017. It's like, well, these people must really know a lot to do with Robin, Sis Childs mum's sister and her children, because they pretty much described mum's deadbeat sister and her dragged up children to me and projected Shane Childs into my life. Really. And then there was some other idiots that knew my mum's second husband's family. Like when I was saying stuff about my dad, because my dad's a builder that grew up playing baseball, went deep sea scuba diving, barely drinks, and has never done drugs. Then I had this asshole knock me back and said, "Oh no, his father's not. He doesn't. His father's a nurse, and his father's a kind of smoking, drug using alcoholic." And I'm like, who plays golf, and he just doesn't remember. And I'm like, no, you're talking about my mum's second husband. My so this other person. So I just got harassed by people that know my mum's ex second husband. So yeah, my mum's ex second husband, Mark Rackley, and his son, Daniel Rackley, they play golf, they follow rugby league, go for the Dragons, the nurses, the deadbeats, alcoholic, cannabis smoking, drug using idiots. I had police project them into my life. And then I'm there saying, even years ago, this has gone on for 9 years in the medical industry. And I'm saying like stuff about my dad, my actual dad, Mark Ian Fleming, who I grew up with. And then these people are knocking me back, go, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. Mark Ian Fleming, the builder, my dad, who grew up playing baseball and deep sea scuba diving, whose lifestyle is like this. Like I've said, he's not aggressive, he's not violent, he's barely drunk alcohol, he doesn't do drugs, and he's anti-cannabis. That's my dad. You lot of deadbeat nurses and medical health industry workers and so forth keep projecting my mum's ex second husband into my life. That's nothing to do with me. And that shows you what a terrible country Australia. It even shows you what a useless immigration leftist organizations that we have, because I've actually said this now for 9 years. So then I had other assholes make up like, oh, he had a psychotic breakdown. I was like, no, I didn't. No, I haven't. Thanks very much. Because of how I live my lifestyle. Why should I change living my lifestyle? Oh, because every time I sit down for dinner, like the way we did, like if we have vegetables, the vegetables, extra vegetables are in a platter. Yeah, so that's how I grew up. We always had, table dressed. We always had sitting down to proper dinner. There was none of this dragged up. We're not dragged up housos. And housos didn't like it, basically.